If you were absent on Wednesday, this is the screencast that'll walk you through which sentence you need to do for lesson 3A. So you're going to need your green book open to page 29. And we're going to recap that you're using these formulas to make simple sentences. If it says SV, you're looking to write a sentence that has one subject, one verb, and it could vary. So watch the formula. So we did a couple together. The first example asks for one subject and one verb. So we did Susie wanted, no, it's not wanted. Susie went to the supermarket for chicken. Actually, I think we used chicken nuggets. So the first step, we go through our mark strategies, mark out the imposters. To the supermarket, we're going to cross it out, and you are going to label it with a PP because it's a prepositional phrase. For chicken nuggets is another prepositional phrase. So you're going to cross it off and label it. And then you're going to write an S over Susie. And what did Susie do? She went. So you have one subject, one verb. The next example has a subject and two verbs. So you're going to think about one person, and I don't want you to use the same subject and verb that you used in a previous sentence. So we said Sheldon, and then we're thinking, what did Sheldon do? There are two verbs, two things he had to do, and I don't want just a four-word sentence. So we figured out how could we add some phrases. Sheldon ran and jumped to get to Giant Eagle for ketchup. So we look for our imposters. To get, to plus a verb. We're going to cross that out. That's an infinitive. Label it with an I. And then we had the prepositional phrase to Giant Eagle. That's not an infinitive this time because to plus a noun. Oopsie. And then we had for ketchup. So we had three imposters in there. So I do want you to have at least one when you're writing, just to get some practice at adding description to your sentence. So now I have to look back and think of who's my sentence about. It's about Sheldon. And what are the two things that Sheldon did? He ran and jumped. So I'm going to underline them and label them both with an AV. They're both action verbs. We did a couple more. So let's look at number 1 here in the next section. And again, I expect you to be writing these examples down when I check your book. So now we need two subjects. So we said Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. So if I look at my imposters, I've got of water as a prepositional phrase. I'm going to cross it out and label it PP. To fetch is an infinitive. I'm going to cross it off, label it I for an infinitive. And then up the hill is a prepositional phrase. Cross it off, label it PP for prepositional phrase. Now I want to go back and find my subject. And I should have two subjects if I follow the formula, and I do. They are Jack and Jill. So we're going to label them both with an S. What did they do? They went. That's my action verb. And then we're going to do one more example together, and then you're going to be on your own. So, Lily, and I have to have two subjects. So Shauna, I guess you can probably guess who wrote this sentence. And we needed two verbs this time. What did they do? They worked together and wrote this sentence. This time there are no imposters. We have some descriptive words, but there aren't any imposters. So I'm going to go back and look for my subjects. I should have two of them labeled, Lily and Shauna. And what did they do? They worked and wrote. So for the example sentences that you're going to do now, and I want you to make sure you write this down or circle them or highlight them, because if you do them all, you did too much work. You need to do the learn by practicing number 1, 2, and 5. Those are the only ones you need to do, and then you need to turn your booklet into the sub so I can grade it when I come back.